I'm gonna just show you guys how I would rewrite this if it helps a little bit. I'm not gonna start going over it yet. I want you guys to still try, but I started the recording and just wrote it that way so you guys could see it. So for this one, you're going to do derivative of this first part. Now, derivative of square root is 1 over 2 square root. The 8 is just there, so it's 8 over 2 square root. Like the 8 is just there. I don't have a better explanation for that. Now this one, power rule. -5 times -3 is positive 15, and then it'll be x to the what? Good. It becomes more negative. And then we're just going to like simplify this down. How would you reduce 8 over 2? Yep, so 4 over square root of x. You can leave the 1 in there if you really want to. And then this term would be 15 over x to the 6. So that's where we're going to stop there. I just don't want negative exponents. This one's going to get really long horizontally. Okay, so I'm actually going to start like all the way over here. What rule do you need for them? Product. Okay, so it is the first thing, derivative of the second. 4 would be gone. This is tricky. What's your derivative of just plain x? 1. Good. Plus, good, 15 x to the 4th. Lovely. Plus the second thing, just recopy it, times derivative of the first. Now the 2 is a constant, so that's gone. I'm just going to cover that up. The derivative of negative x cubed would be negative 3x squared. If any one of you goes further, I am going to lose my marbles because that means I have to set my answer key aside, do the work myself, figure it out, and then probably mark yours wrong if you made a mistake doing it. Please, can you just stop? I don't want anyone going any further. Please leave it alone. Thank you. All right, this one. Number 3, power rule. You would multiply the 20 down, 20 times a 4th. 5, x to the 19th, 29 is a constant, so that's it. What rule do you need for this one? Quotient. How does it start? The bottom, the denominator. If you get it started, you will probably get the rest of it, right? Denominator, derivative of the numerator, which is 3x squared. And then what? That one's subtraction. Minus x to the 3rd. Numerator, derivative of the denominator is 4. And then over the denominator squared. I know someone is going to cancel these out. Please let it not be you. No cancellation without factorization. If you have not factored, you cannot cancel. Just do nothing. Can you just do nothing, right? Please? All right. You can handle doing nothing? I'm trying to grade you purely on calculus and not algebra. I'm trying to do that. I know Delta Math won't accept it unless it's like all the nitty-gritty algebra is done. I'm trying to grade you just on calculus, right? Instantaneous rate of change. That means derivative. This is a quotient rule, so it's going to be the denominator times derivative of the numerator, which is actually what? 1. If you didn't write it, that's fine. But for right now, I actually kind of want you to, because you're still learning these. This is only day 2 of this unit, and that's part of the pattern. Eventually, we might get to a point where you don't write it, but for now, I kind of want you to. Minus the numerator. She's okay. We talked about that. All right, derivative of the denominator would be just 3, and then over the denominator squared. Please don't do any algebra to simplify that, okay? The only thing we want to do is plug in 3. That's it, okay? So we're going to plug in 3, see what we get. 3 times 3. 9 minus 7, 2 times 1, 2. Good. Minus 3 plus 1, 4 times 3, 12. And then the denominator would be 2 squared, which is 4. So let's see. What I do kind of want you to simplify this one. It'll be, pretend this part's multiple choice. You have to actually get a number. That'll be -10 fourths We negative 5/2. Thank you. Yeah, because see, I feel like that's easy enough. You guys can do that. Don't mess with all this though. Slope of the tangent line. Again, it's another way of saying derivative. So we're going to get the derivative and then plug in 8. So this is like what you practiced on Delta Math. When you multiply the 5/3 down, and if you want to put the 2 over 1, if that helps you, when you multiply fractions, just multiply the numerators and multiply the denominators. So what will that give you? Yeah, 10/3. 5 times 2 is 10. 3 times 1 is 3. So 10/3 x to the what? We have to subtract 1. So 5/3 minus 1, 2/3. It's 5/3 minus 3/3. Good. And then we're going to plug in 8. Now, while this is technically not like wrong or anything, does anyone know off the top of their head what 8 to the 2/3 power is? No. And actually, that stumbles me too. So, like, let's rewrite this. It's 10/3, and then what kind of a root is it? Cube root. And then underneath is x squared. And then we're going to plug in 8. See what we get. So here we go. 8 squared. 64, good. Cube root of 64, 4. Here, you know what? Let me write that out. I was going to keep going, but if you have 10/3 times 4, if you want to put it over 1, if that helps you, then do that. It's just times 4, but it's really 4 over 1. What do you get when you multiply those? 40/3. Good job. Any whole number you can put over 1. If that helps you, do it. It's like what I was saying on the last unit, how write everything as an ordered pair. Do you remember that? Like instead of f of 2 equals 7, write it as 2 comma 7. It's a silly thing, but it helps a whole lot. All right, what is this one asking for? All right, what 2 things do you need? All right, a point and a slope. Good job. Our point of tangency is 25. So to get the y value, you just take that and plug it in. Square root of 25. 5 times 6, 30. 3 minus 30, negative 27. Good. Slope comes from derivative. So this is where the derivative comes in. You're going to take a derivative on every single problem. That's like what the unit's on. This is what the whole first half of the year is on, is derivatives. All right, so 3, what's going to happen with 3? Yeah, that goes away. It's a constant. I'm just going to cover it up. What's your derivative of square root? 1 over 2 square root. This one is just going to be negative 6 over 2 square root. The negative 6 is kind of just there. It's 1 over 2 square root, but then times a negative 6. Like it's just there. It's just a coefficient. All right, and then what are we going to plug into that to get our slope? Good, 25. That's your point of tangency. Square root of 25. 5 times 2. 10. Negative 6/10. Gosh, what is that? Negative 3/5. And then you just write the equation. You've got all the ingredients, you just put it all together. So it's y plus 27, good, bless you, equals negative 3/5, parenthesis, bless you, it's minus 25. What is an example of a number you could plug in to estimate? 25.1 or 24.9 or something really, really close to your point of tangency, 25.